Have you checked the children?
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
Fuego here.
Here to do another comic book review. We are catching up on something now. We haven't reviewed a lot of this in the past. We've reviewed some, but we are here to talk about three different aspects of the Alien franchise. So we are talking about the last two Alien stories from Dark Horse, as well as the very first issue of the new Marvel-led series. So
because they
we're going to be doing
proverbial baton, which is kind of crazy.
So we are doing Alien, the original screenplay, which is a comic adaptation of the original screenplay, which I recently found out apparently they did a Predator original screenplay one as well. About a year ago.
Okay.
That I need to go and get.
And there's a new Predator book that Marvel is going to be putting out as well. So after the Disney acquisition of, everything Fox, these are just kind of contingent points that they brought along. So
and then
mixed feelings.
And then we're going to do the Alien 3 unproduced screenplay.
Which is also an audio drama on Audible.
That is also available as an audio drama with Michael Biehn and Lance Henriksen reprising their roles.
Indeed. I actually think I like that better than the comic interpretation.
I can imagine why
we'll
reading it was boring as well. And then we had the very first issue, which I particularly got the kid cover, the Scotty Young cover for Alien. This is the Disney Marvel version of Alien. So let's get to all of them.
Within the continuity, which I really appreciated about the fact that there is one familiar character who shows up in that. We will get to it eventually, but it really just grounded me and made me much more interested in how things were going to pan out.
I did not know if this was going to be a series I was going to... Well, we'll talk about it when we get there.
Yes, indeed, we will.
So first off, we're talking about Alien, the original screenplay. So this is basically... Honestly, guys, this book, and let's show you each cover as we normally do, but this book was basically the exact same movie as Alien, except with redesigns on the creatures, as well as different names for the cast. It was not Ripley, it was someone else who I've written it down.
Well, it's inconsequential. The thing that I will declare about this is that, it's not. This version of the script is not different enough to warrant an adaptation in a visual regard, at least in my estimation.
No, I agree.
That's the biggest thing, because we have engineers with a slightly different dynamic. We have creatures that look very similar to the xenomorphs, and we have different names of all of our
proper credit where credit's due.
Proper
show
people.
The credits here.
But this is not one where, unlike Alien 3, it was so drastically different that I felt like it warranted an adaptation.
Agreed.
The original Alien script, it wasn't different enough. Now, there was an aspect of the fact that it was more of a religious sort of, approach, and the fact that, there was more of like a tribal pyramid sort of thing which was going on, which they likened and actually tied in with the design of the engineers. So maybe that was a thing, but bottom line,
the design of the ship was a little bit different. Derelict.
But I mean, aside from that, it did not warrant a distinctive difference, which we do get in Alien 3, which we will talk about.
The biggest difference in issue 1 here was the what do they call that? The space jockey.
Yeah, exactly. The engineers.
Yeah, the engineers, the space jockey looks quite a bit different. That was what the cover was showing. You guys might not have realized that's what I was showing you with the cover, but yes, that is the engineer in this version of it. So you can see the design differences. The egg here, that is the egg. I don't really need to go into the... I mean, let's talk about the writing of it, Fuego. So what did you think of the writing?
Well, it's pretty much the same thing that we saw in the original Ridley Scott film, which was one of my biggest,
here's the
at least with Alien 3, it was so drastically different as far as the narrative goes. One of my biggest gripes about this is that, I mean, aside from shifting names, there is a final girl. There is all of her other castmates, you know, on the ship that die and are cocooned and all this stuff. So it's really not that different in that regard. Alien 3 is vastly different in every possible regard, and we're going to get to that.
Well,
But
the fact that they showed the cocooned aspect, that... Did they get to the cocoons in the first Alien movie?
in the original one, they did. I mean, it was just
They
like
did
a
just briefly?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a brief sort of thing. You see, and rest in peace, Yosef, recently passed, and he was in, James Bond, and he was in Midnight Run, and lots of other awesome stuff. He was a badass actor. One of my favorites from this film.
And then this, so that was the egg.
me.
This is the
Gross.
face hugger. So this is the face hugger redesign. Looks definitely different enough. But yeah, and then the final cover is of the Ripley stand-in. Again, I don't know the name off the top of my head here.
As far as the cover artist.
No, the name of the main character.
Jesus
Instead
Christ.
of Ripley, it's something else.
Yeah, they changed it up. They changed the name of every single character in this, which he was fine. Dan O'Bannon wrote so much prolific sci-fi stuff around that particular time.
Oh my goodness. You're having a bad reaction,
Christ,
huh?
Yeah, man. I mean,
Is there a cat sitting on your face?
I don't think so.
So just so you guys get a frame of reference, here is the chest burster scene.
Yeah.
You know, largely the same, but not nearly as kind of impactful as in the movies,
But
obviously.
still relatively prolific in that regard. So.
So yeah, that is the first book, you guys. It is just not so different that it's really, huge to go into.
Never experienced this.
Yeah, that's really bad. But it's also available in hardcover, as you can see.
Which is where I purchased it.
That's the Alien.
Amazon. Yeah.
Looks a little bit different, as you can see. But yeah,
I think 3 is where I really want to talk extensively.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So you go ahead, and I'll start showing off the creatures here.
Yeah. 3 is intriguingly interesting because of the fact that it was
sorry, this is the final cover.
Yeah, it was. So 3 was so drastically different than what we got on screen from David Fincher. Drastically different. It was a very Bishop-heavy story. It's like Ripley, basically, she's in cryo sleep, and she plays a very, just
Very
kind of secondary,
role.
very secondary, like barely in it, so to speak.
The big difference is this. I mean, immediately you start off and they find Bishop, and he's got a giant alien egg growing out of him.
Yeah, which is not exactly how we remember things panning out.
No, but that's what ends up happening, and Bishop gets stolen. So it's funny. The remnants of that ship are salvaged by 2 different crews.
Yeah, and that's the thing that you took issue with, and myself as well, right along with you.
This is basically corporate espionage.
Yeah, very much
it's
so.
5 issues, but it's corporate espionage for, I think it's 5, right? Or is it 4 issues?
5 or 6, maybe.
No, it's 5 issues, just like the other series.
Yeah.
But it is corporate espionage for 3.5 issues, and then kind of alien action for an issue and a half.
Yeah, and that's the
I
interesting
mean,
thing.
look, it's a lot of this. It's just a lot of talky.
Lots of talking, lots of insight as the fact that...
But not interesting talking.
Yeah, not so much. Weyland Yutani is a thing, obviously, in the Alien universe, but would you assume that there's competing sort of, corporate entities? Yes, there are. And that's what it explores here, and it's, like, kind of dull in that regard.
Kind of. I mean, it's super
I liked all
dull.
I liked all the Bishop stuff, and yet they do also something without getting super spoilery, where there was human DNA combined with xenomorph DNA.
Action, at least.
Yeah,
tiny bit at the very beginning.
Yeah, but actually, as far as like a hybrid sort of situation,
again, look, it's just talky.
Yeah, and there's also that Audible, which is great, because you have Michael Biehn and you have Lance Henriksen.
But so the story didn't jive with us. It was quite boring. But let's talk about the artwork, Fuego.
Yeah.
What did you think of the artwork in this one, and then we'll go back to the artwork on the other one, because
I thought the art was rad status in this.
It's very clean, very crisp. Let me pull up the next issue, and I'll show you guys an example here, because the next cover is pretty.
Yeah, especially
pretty
that cover with Bishop, man. Bishop is one of my favorite characters, and I guess the guy, the Canadian dude who wrote this, and obviously his script did not come to play with what David Fincher ended up eventually doing. He said that he really loved the character of Bishop, and he was fascinated by Henriksen's portrayal, and he wanted to incorporate it very much so.
Right here.
I'm still kind of aggravated that Ripley was not as much, like a part of this, but it is what it is in that regard. So
it's just more talky. Newt is in it though.
Newt is in it too.
Newt is in it. You can see Newt right there.
Yep.
So Newt is up and walking around, and she's got a bigger part than Ripley.
Yeah, she goes back to Oregon, I think, where her family is, and so Hicks is like, well, affirmative, go back and although that's a Hudson thing.
Yeah, a tiny bit of alien
Bill
action.
Paxton, motherfucker.
It's literally just like 2 pages of alien action.
Yeah.
For an entire issue. It's so rough in that regard. I need to change.
But I must admit though that
board.
I did like where they went full changing.
Well, that's what we're showing off.
Nastiness of the 3rd and 4th and 5th issues.
And that cover. That cover is pretty cool, and that cover is very illusionary of. So this is what people might find most interesting, right? Okay. This was the biggest departure from not only the movie, but from alien lore. Period.
Continuity. Period.
So let me pull to it. So here we go. This is what we've got. We've got a character that is this blonde right here. You see her.
Yeah, I think the closest we got, dude, was with what Joss Whedon did with Resurrection.
But look,
there was culmination.
So she starts to expand and starts to explode, and it's basically she busts out and transforms into an alien. But look at with a humanoid face.
Yeah, they do it
in
so
Resurrection.
They do it so much cooler in the comic. That's one of the few things they downplay it in the audio drama on Audible.
Really?
They really do. It's not, and it doesn't have
that's
that much.
That's a key moment.
Yeah, it doesn't have as much heft as you would expect, which is what's
that is crazy. A key moment. And then there's this cool moment where another character thinks or knows he's going to become something, and so he goes to freeze himself mid-transformation. Yeah.
And that's where we're not trying to spoil things, guys.
Nope, this is still in issue number 2, I think.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's issue 4.
I was about to say that's later in the.
That's issue 4,
for sure.
But nonetheless, here's where you get expansion on the human-faced alien.
Yeah.
So
which is where they make those resurrection.
It's a little bit different, but I gotta say, the artwork far outshines the story in this.
Yeah, true.
It really does. Right. The story is just so boring to me that the artwork can't even save it, because all I'm living for are the few pages of alien action that we end up getting.
Yeah.
So that that's what I'm talking about as far as
it's a weird elevation sort of situation where I mean, guys, this is the last gasp of Dark Horse producing anything alien related. The mouse owns them now. Disney is the person behind any sort of further creativity, which is crazy. And I'm very happy that they're allowing an R-rated contingent to go on Hulu for this new TV series. But nonetheless, you have to think. And we're actually going to talk about the first issue of.
We are. But let's let's double back to the first series and just get what is your thoughts on the artwork in the first series as well? Because it's not the same artist.
Yeah,
but it is. I still think it stands out in its quality.
Dare I say the first
bold artwork?
Yeah, the first series is inconsequential. Matters into. I mean,
but the art is dope, though. Look at the art.
The art is
fantastic.
crisp.
It's clean. It's really good.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. We didn't touch enough on the art the first time around.
We didn't. You're right. It's cool looking, but the fact that it didn't bring anything prolific, to the table is, I guess, where I give Alien 3 a lot more of my respect.
That's fair. It's really crisp, clean artwork with good character style and models and easy to follow action. That makes a big difference.
Yeah. And I mean, the fact that 3 had a significantly different story to tell in comparison with, I mean, the OG Dan O'Bannon script, they're like, okay, well, there's some different names, but nothing much beyond that distinguishes it, from everything else. So
So let's dive into the first issue of the Marvel series. Now, there are loads of covers. There's this cover, this cover, this cover, this cover, as well as this cover. Yep, and this is the one I opted for. Man. It really is, and I just had fun with it, so I picked up this cover, but this is the first issue of an ongoing series in the Marvel Universe where they are relaunching, but you get some cool stuff right up front.
Rad, dude.
Yeah, on the second page, you have an amazing splash page, which alludes to, what is this? Some kind of crazy alien queen.
Who was that woman?
Who was a bipedal alien queen. We have no idea what or who that is, but look, you even get different models of aliens down here.
Yep.
And it's really a cool setup as you get this voiceover, but then you flash to this other place where you get a bishop robot meeting with a soon-to-be retired military high-ranking officer.
Yeah, which basically, like, we encountered in the first Alien versus Predator film, the fact that Lance Henriksen was, like, the proprietor of that, distinctive design, and so, like, it's a thing, but...
So there are bishop
really
robots.
Cool he is really cool on this, though.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite parts.
But the artwork is done by Salvador La Roca. If you guys didn't know, he's an old school artist. He's done a lot of stuff over the years, but I have a lot of his stuff from Marvel. He did a ton with Marvel for a while.
Being a comic from Marvel, so
that makes sense. Yep, actually, yep. I don't know if he's Marvel solo or exclusive, but
there's lots of recollections that we get from some of our primary characters within this, where they're remembering the fact that there was these colonial marines and stuff like that, and so very cool, man.
So our main character. We don't know a lot about his past, right? He's a new character, and it turns out he was on some mission, on a military mission, with a bishop robot that he hasn't talked about, and he's seeing his son for the first time in years because he's no longer on active military duty. And there is a tension right off the bat, they're arguing over lost years as a result. But look at this artwork, this awesome artwork that shows emotion. It brings you into the story. It's got really solid color work. And
dude, there's also those flashbacks to where there's a trapped aspect in the hive, which is really dope.
Right here.
This is really just captivating stuff for me. Being a big fan of the franchise and everything that it ties into. So
I mean, look at this. This is really such good stuff. Yeah. So you get glimpses into this military guy's past. He obviously makes it out of this, but clearly a lot of his buddies did not. And oh my God, this whole scene though, where there were some guys being like, I'm supposed to, I gotta get back. I'm not even supposed to be here.
Yeah,
It's this other guy's supposed to be here, but I took the shift for him or whatever. And then another guy's like, hey, I really got to get back and see my girlfriend, like all calmly, like I got to get out of here because I really got to go back and see my girlfriend again. And they're all just gonna die, and
all
it's
the
so
different
creepy.
tactics. Yeah, it's messed up, honestly.
It plays on you. It really does.
Yeah, it does. It affects you in those innards and sorts.
But so you see that. So our main character, he has a therapist, and the bishop robot is his therapist.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's really interesting, and you can obviously, it's really easy when you're reading it to envision Lance Henriksen's voice coming out of the the bishop robot. But it takes a crazy turn.
Yeah, we have the advantage of actually meeting Lance Henriksen a few years ago at Mad Monster, which was really awesome. But,
so it takes a crazy turn when we see these two military guards at a particular place when they are set upon by someone, and you get a look at you might be thinking, is the House of Mouse going to be hamstringing the people when they're telling an alien story? And let me just show you this page.
I was fearful in that regard. I thought that they were going to,
So here's this page.
Yeah.
So a shotgun blast completely destroying the head of the female character.
Yep.
Her headless body flopping backwards, and then this guy being blown apart by the futuristic looking shotgun as well.
Yeah, I thought they were going to defang and declaw that chisel, man, but it did not happen.
And so you see that it's actually this militaristic group that is trying to achieve their own goals, and it happens to be led by the son of our main character.
Yeah.
So therein
Pretty
is the
rad
crux of the story. But here's a scene that we also got. I'm loving this. This was so much better than both of those last two series combined, really.
I must admit, and I'm actually faithful and just happy. I think, like, Marvel, you know, you're in decent hands, Alien Comics, you know?
Yeah.
Where I was very hesitant initially. So, yeah.
Now, we got
Indeed,
a scene where this group broke into a facility and found a bunch of alien experiments, which is very reminiscent of Alien Resurrection as well. When Ripley finds all the failed Ripley experiments and blows them all apart.
Yeah, which they played a part in one of these.
And then, of course, at the very end, we get a facehugger appearance.
No, and who was that bad bastard on this other side?
Oh, that's Venom. That's Venom number 200.
I was about to say, very just prolifically sitting on his throne, so to speak. Awesome.
So, yeah. That is all of the Alien comics that have come out, you guys. I thought it was definitely worth talking about because, you know, it was the original screenplay and the unproduced screenplay of these, as well as the first issue of this. It all worked out very well time-wise. So
yeah, I still contend that the third, which is also available as an Audible, like drama production or whatever, that's one of the best ways to experience that story. You know,
well, except you said that the comic actually shows the transformation from human to alien.
Yeah, it's a little more violent. I mean, hey, if you have the opportunity to watch both on the Comixology or whatever, that's fine. But the audio drama is pretty dope. You know, Robert would recommend that as well.
That's true. That's true. So there you go, guys. That's going to do it for our review of the most recent Alien material in comic book form. Why don't you let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. While you're down there, click the like button and subscribe in case you want to make sure you don't miss any other comics reviews coming soon. Soon enough, we are going to be reviewing 2 different Lost Boys comic book series. We are going to have a whole Lost Boys week where there's going to be 4 episodes of Lost Boys material. So look forward to that. And until next time, though, I've been Cecil Laird.
And I've been Jaime Fuego.
Thank you so much to all of our patrons for supporting the channel. We couldn't do it without you guys. But until next time, remember, stay scared.